When the headline hit social media, it spread fast, designed to shock, provoke, and pull people in. Try not to gasp, it dared. But as images connected to Laura San Giacomo began circulating again, the real reaction wasn't shock. It was confusion. Why were people still reacting this way? And why now? Laura San Giacomo has long been respected for her talent, intensity, and presence on screen. From powerful performances to complex roles, her career has never relied on gimmicks. Yet a resurfaced moment, framed sensationally, suddenly became the focus, overshadowing decades of meaningful work. What many missed in the noise was context. The images being discussed were tied to artistic storytelling, not provocation. They weren't created to shock audiences, but to serve a narrative at a time when storytelling pushed boundaries to explore realism and vulnerability. That distinction matters, but it's often lost in modern, click-driven culture. The outrage said more about the headlines than the moment itself. Words like gasp and too much were chosen carefully, not to inform, but to manipulate reaction. In doing so, they stripped the subject of nuance and reduced a multifaceted artist to a single frozen frame. This pattern isn't new. Women in film have historically faced harsher judgment for creative risks, especially when those risks involve vulnerability. The same artistic choices that earn men praise for bravery often earn women scrutiny for impropriety. Laura San Giacomo's moment became another example of that imbalance. Supporters were quick to push back, pointing out that the conversation ignored intent, era, and artistry. They argued that revisiting these moments through a modern, sensational lens distorts history. It transforms storytelling into spectacle and reduces art to controversy. What's striking is how easily legacy can be rewritten by headlines. Years of acclaimed performances, awards, and influence can be overshadowed by a single word designed to grab attention. That's not reflection, that's reduction. The public response also revealed a discomfort that hasn't faded with time. Despite progress, society still reacts strongly when women are presented outside carefully controlled boundaries. Even when the work is decades old, the judgment feels immediate and intense. Laura San Giacomo herself has always approached her career with seriousness and intention. Her choices reflected character, not controversy. Yet the framing of this moment ignored that entirely, choosing reaction over respect. Perhaps the most important takeaway isn't about the images at all. It's about how easily context disappears online, how quickly art becomes outrage, and how often women are asked to defend choices that were never reckless to begin with. If we pause long enough to look beyond the headline, what we find isn't something gasp-worthy. We find a reminder. Art requires vulnerability, and vulnerability is often misunderstood.